What's good, everyone? Bryson Price here.
Bryson Price.
Today, I'll be interviewing my friend Melck Emanuel. We've got a new song out called Dia Bom, and this is what it sounds like. Vai ser dia bom. Just want to give you a heads up that the audio on my end is not the best. I had a wrong setting checked when I was interviewing him, but I didn't want to scrap the whole interview just because of that. So let's get right into it. Today I'm here with a very talented singer, Melck Emanuel. We have a song together called Dia Bom. Go check that out if you haven't. It's in the description. But today I just wanted to talk with him about the song we made and just get a little bit of background behind, the song and the lyrics behind it and everything, and just also get a little bit about his story and let him share a little bit. Where in Brazil are you from?
Well, I grew up in this city called Araguaína, which is north of Brazil, but nowadays I live in Natal. It's more like northeast.
And that's on the beach, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. I would love to live at the beach.
It's fun. It's like having a pool on your house. You forget about it sometimes.
That's what I've heard. I've actually been to Natal before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I've been there twice actually. Yeah, it was fun. Just like eating the shrimp on the beach and like the coconut water and cocada. It's so good. So, how long have you been making music for?
Well, I think I've been creating music since ever. Like my dad is a music producer, so we had instruments laying around the house like growing up, and I think just by seeing him work, I got influenced. But it took me a while to be able to show other people my music, to be confident enough to release it. It was probably around, I think, 2016. I started to post them on internet and show my friends, and they liked it.
Cool. Yeah, my dad played the piano, but I was always too stubborn to learn music theory. But then later, I learned it on my own, but I could have saved myself a lot of time and energy if I would have just learned it younger, When did you become a Christian, or how did you become a Christian?
Well, my parents are Christians, and their parents are also Christians, so I have this background and grew up in this faith-based environment. So since ever, growing up, we have, going to college, university, and this kind of stuff, our mind gets kind of messed up, but I think I had this, I don't know. I question everything. I have this thing where I question everything. And since I was a kid, I always questioned myself, is this my thing? Am I just a church kid because my parents are, or do I believe this? And I think by questioning that, I got every time more sure about what I believed. And I believe in God, and I believe in everything that I do. And that's pretty much what I do. I literally live in a church, and I'm in Natal because of it. I came to teach instruments and to kind of do a band for the church. It's a new church here.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a Christian home too, but it's very different. Growing up with like somebody teaching you something versus it becoming like your own faith, So like one way, there's a pastor named Matt Chandler. One way he describes it that's really interesting is that do you know who Abraham Lincoln is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says it's like we all studied about Abraham Lincoln, but we don't have a relationship with Abraham Lincoln. So it's like you learn things about God, but that doesn't mean that you actually have a relationship with Him. So that was me. Like I could tell you how to become saved. I could tell you, I could even tell you that I thought I was going to heaven because Jesus died for my sins, but I didn't actually have a relationship with God. So that's like two very different things. So that's kind of my story. Is that I grew up in a Christian home, but didn't actually start reading the Bible until later. Well, I always tried to read the Bible, but I never understood it, and I would fall asleep. But later, God opened my eyes to see what was actually written in the Bible, and that's kind of how I came to faith, So
yeah, same.
Who are your top favorite artists?
Oh man, that's a tough
I know
one.
it's tough. Like if you asked me that, I wouldn't be able to answer that. But just best you can.
I mean, I grew up. I'm the youngest of three brothers, so they used to listen to a lot of metal. So I grew up in metal and worship, and like my top five artists is gonna be a messy salad of everything. I probably go by Demon Hunter, which is a metal band from America. Uh, I think Scat is an Australian jazz band. 21 Pilots. I really love the guys. Uh, I go with Andy Mineo, who introduced me to hip hop, and it's been like I've been addicted to hip hop. And I'll go with I think one Brazilian who is Rodolfo Abrantes. He was in Raimundos, one of the greatest rock bands in Brazil from the 90s, and he's now a solo artist, and he's now also a pastor. And everything that he wrote, I like. I'm really big fan of the guy. One of the probably most I've been probably most influenced by him my whole life, not just in music, but especially in music.
How did you write the lyrics for our song Giovanni? Like, what was the inspiration behind it? What was like, if there's a story behind how you wrote it, then just share like whatever you have about that.
I mean, melodically, I tried to match the synths and the leads and bass that you created. I just try to stay on that lane and trying to just dance around it and trying to, just follow what you created, which I think is great. Lyrically, I think I tried to match the vibes, the pace and how the song makes me feel. Because I have this thing that I paint a picture in my mind every time I hear a song or every time I'm trying to write a song. And the picture that I have for this song, it's kind of funny. It's like a Saturday morning on a church camp, youth. You just woke up, you're taking the time to fully wake up and get breakfast, and before you head to the auditorium to have, devotional. And it's going to be a great day. You're not worried about much. You're just worried about the scoreboard. Will my team win the competitions? Probably not, because we're a bunch of weirdos, but it's going to be a great day. My friends are there. It's just, I know who I am. I know who God is. And we may fail. I may do things wrong. I'm not trying to be perfect, but, I have trust that it's going to be a good day because God is with me. And that's what matters.
Cool. I like it. Do you have any 5-year goals with your music at all? Or I guess just long-term goals in general. But I like to think in like 5 and 10 years, because anything under that is just like too short.
Well, I'm not good in planning things, but I think to music, I'm always about the message, Even when I'm not writing Jesus music, even when I'm not writing songs that were going to be played at church or accepted in Christian radios, there's a lot of things going on out there, especially with young artists in music, promoting like self-destructive ways of life, and it seems like no one's bothered by that. And it's okay, no, it's fine. They're young. That's how you live life, and I don't agree with it, and I cannot stop them from doing that. But I have my platform, so I try to balance. I try to say good things. I try to, say you don't have to turn your back on God. You don't have to turn your back on your parents to fully enjoy your life. Life doesn't have to be like that. So that's I think that's my goal with my music always. And I got people coming to me saying that, oh, your song helped me in a tough time in my life, and that's pretty much the best thing that you can hear. There are people who say, oh, your production is good. I like the quality. The guitars. The melodies. But there's people who say, the message is good, and I'm happy with both, And when I get this feedback from people who notice the quality of the production, the quality of the music, and when I have the feedback from people who notice the message, what I'm trying to say, and I really take my time to write something that means, and it's not just shallow, And I believe I want to hear that in the future. I believe that's my main goal in music.
Cool.
Do you want to say anything like to Brazilian friends? You have a lot of them. I check your comments, and there's a lot of people with Brazilian flags and.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, not really. I mean, I guess I want to continue making Brazilian music in Portuguese for the reasons that I told you. Well, one, I love Brazil. I'm half Brazilian, and two, the fact that it's just so much potential in Brazil to build a fan base. It doesn't mean I want to only do Portuguese music, but I want to definitely keep doing that in the future and do the same stuff I'm doing. I'm in a weird place right now as far as music. I don't know exactly what direction I'm going to go in the future. I'm kind of experimenting and seeing, but it's not really like dubstep for me anymore. It's not like electronic music. I'm just on a different wave now, and I want to incorporate more songs with like lyrics in it. I've been experimenting a lot with a genre called vaporwave. It's kind of like, do you know what vaporwave is?
Kind of. I'm a little bit familiar
It's
with
kind of
it.
like, and mostly like vapor trap. It's basically like retro sounds, but with like trap beats. So taking old school inspiration and mixing it with like trap, I guess. Because I grew up on hip hop music, and I've always loved electronic music because my cousins in Brazil would take me to the clubs when I was young. And so that's how I grew up. I grew up listening to electronic music, but back in those days, you couldn't there wasn't like Spotify, or you couldn't go search music on the internet. Like, you have to hear it like live. So that's kind of where my inspiration came from. But I grew up listening to hip hop, but it's like I always liked songs with like techno inspiration and sounds, but so I never really fit in. I still don't feel like I fit in anywhere. Like, it's like I like this, but I like this, so let's blend it together and see what happens, So I don't know. I'm trying to find my way in exactly what lane I want to go in. And the reason why that's important is because like the algorithms these days, like they need to group you somewhere, If not, then like when somebody looks up another artist, it's not going to recommend you unless they know kind of where you fit. So that's kind of like where I'm trying to see. It doesn't mean that I want to sound like a certain genre that's out, but I'm trying to find like my community, like exactly where I fit in, And
Yeah.
and I just don't know where that is yet, but I'm figuring it out though.
Yeah, same. I mean, if you listen to my music, you see kind of hip hop, rock, and ukulele, and that's just what it is. And sometimes I try to focus, trying to find a style because of the algorithms. But I still try. I didn't figure yet.
Yeah, and I mean maybe that's like my style. Maybe that's your style too. Is like making music that's different. And that doesn't really fit in anywhere, but I still feel like I'm trying to figure out exactly who my music is for, Like, who am I trying to attract with this music? So I guess that's kind of where I'm at. Well, that's it. You've heard it from Melck Emanuel. Make sure you check out the song if you haven't already. And also, make sure you follow him on social media. What's your Instagram tag?
At Melck Emanuel.
It was good talking to you, and I hope it's not the last time we talk. And I look forward to collaborating with you some more in the future. And I also look forward to hearing what you guys think about the song. Make sure you drop a comment below. Let us know what you think about it. I will catch you next time.
See ya.
Vai ser um dia bom.